The following is a presentation of The Day.
From Knoxville to Nevada, California to Connecticut, all across America, tradition takes center stage. Family, friends, and football. Welcome to Ledyard High School on a beautiful Thanksgiving morning where tradition is the Fitch Falcons and the Ledyard Colonels playing for the sword and playing for more. Playoff implications abound, and we'll have all the action live for you on game day. Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health, solutions for all your dental needs. All that's good begins with a smile. When you visit our office, your smile is our top priority. So go to waterforddentalhealth.com and find out more about these fabulous folks who are dedicated to providing you with the personalized dental care you deserve. Waterford Dental Health. Casey O'Neill along with the coach Pasta Santabria, and welcome to what has become a beautiful tradition here on game day as well. You, me, Peter Wappy, and Pie.
Hey, that's happy Thanksgiving, everybody out there. And the tradition continues with this win here, gusting about 35 plus. So it's going to be a game where it definitely is going to have a wind factor and sun factor. We've seen the field. It's a beautiful field, obviously, but the challenges will be there. We'll see how it goes.
Wanamaker will kick off for the Colonels from a bunch formation. Adonis Fine, the fabulous playmaker for the Falcons, stands back at his own 15-yard line. We'll have lots to talk about today, but let's get this one underway. The kick is a ground ball that Fine steps up and picks up at the 30. Fine is hit hard by Miles Streckfus, and Fitch will have possession at the 40-yard line. Falcons, of course, come in 8-1. Head coach Mike Ellis in his 9th season has a group that he really loves, led by senior quarterback Ben Perry, senior wide receiver running back Adonis Fine, and senior wide receiver Calvin McCoy. While they can put it in the air, coach, expect a lot of ground from the Falcons today, especially with the wind and the sun. However, they do have the wind at their backs here on this first possession. McCoy goes in motion, switches sides of the formation, and Perry on a little jet sweep to Porter Carter, and Carter will get outside the tackles to about the 43-yard line, gain of 4 on first down.
Definitely speed will be a factor on Fitch's side here, but that Ledyard defense is definitely going to be physical. I see that they match them up with size and movement, and the way they hit that first play, I think they want to set the tone on the defensive side today.
Falcons, of course, are in. We're going to talk about the playoffs at length throughout the course of this game. They are in. Their question is, will they have a home game? If they win today, they will, and that's part of what's on the line for them. Carter fakes the motion. Perry with a hard count. Now across. Fakes the dive. Runs option. Perry keeps it himself. He'll have a first down and more. Perry looking for a blocker. Cuts it back inside. Ben Perry all the way inside the 20. The first big play today for the Falcons, and they're knocking on the door.
Awesome play right there. The option scheme, it's all about discipline on defense. Know where your assignment's at. And if you miss that assignment, breakaway plays like that will happen for the Falcons.
The Falcon offense has really emerged since they installed Devin Cook, the freshman, at fullback, and number 42. They faked it to him on the dive that time. Ledyard committed, and that gave Perry the outside for the big play. First down. Perry's going to throw with the wind. Throws it out in the flat. It's complete. Nice move and bumped out of bounds. Bernard Drayton, another senior, and very easily the Falcons are moving the football, and they'll have it 2nd and 1 at the 11-yard line.
You know, you talk about Devin Cook, that fullback, a young freshman that took a really big responsibility and gets a lot of hits in that play. He sets the tone on how the defense has to commit. And if a linebacker on the outside jumps on him, there's some pitch players and some quarterback movement that could really make big plays.
Second and 1. Toss left to Fine. Fine reverses field, cuts it back inside, and will be wrestled to the ground finally by big Matt Tebb. Excuse me, that's Ben Rushchick. Rushchick with the tackle, and it is going to be enough for a first down, I think, with the forward progress. Or they're going to mark it right on the sticks. I think they're going to say 1st and goal. It is. So they're going to move it up to the 9-yard line. We'll call it 1st and goal, Falcons here.
Well, this place is packed today with families from both sides.
Perry has Fine in motion, hands off. Nope, fakes the handoff to Cook and keeps it himself. And he's brought down by Tebbets. And that's a nice job by Tebbets for a loss here to bring the Falcons back outside the 10, second and goal from the 12.
Yeah, the defensive scheme is to make sure we can control the ball from quarterback on out, and what they did there was slow played that. As the fullback didn't get the ball, they worked to that next level. Great defensive line job there by the Colonels.
A lot's been made about the huge switch that the Ledyard offense has made, and we'll detail that when they have the football, but their defense has played much better, but they have been susceptible to giving up points. I expected this one to be an offensive showdown. Every stop that Ledyard can make is helpful, and right on cue, the handoff to the fullback. Cook gets it back down onto the goal line. It's going to be third and goal from about the 3, and it's the first time we've seen Devin Cook involved. That was a big game.
Definitely be a two-play possession here for the Falcons.
It would be a huge early momentum boost for Ledyard, even to force a fourth down here.
Right.
Falcons have been moving it pretty handily. It feels just like everything in the playbook. It's just like, what do you want to call? Third down. Perry's going to keep it himself. Now goes wide option. Spin move. Heading for the end zone is Porter Carter. Touchdown, Falcons. Give Ben Perry credit. He made a very difficult wide pitch on the option, and Carter spun it in for the first points of the ball game.
He definitely pressed the edge really good. A quarterback in that option mode, you want to work downhill, and that's the tough part, working downhill and keying on that end and then trying to pitch it. Very difficult to do, but the repetition and the way this offense has been strong, it shows that they're good at what they do.
Gabriel Carey in for the extra point for the Falcons.
Here's your favorite muddle huddle movement.
I ignored it now. I don't even pay attention anymore.
Had to throw that in there.
Good snap, good hold. The kick is through and true, and with 8:28 remaining in the first quarter, the Falcons have jumped on top 7-0. We'll be right back with the first possession of the Colonels. Happy Thanksgiving. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store. We're back, 7-0 Falcons. Ledyard about to have the football. Now, Ledyard at 4-5 is still mathematically alive.
Can you imagine that, brother?
In Class Double M. They need to win, obviously, today, which would be a huge point boost over an 8-1 team. And then they need 3 of the 5 teams in front of them, Sheehan, Joe Barlow, Foreign, New Fairfield, and Watertown, to lose. So they need 3 to lose. They need to win. The win is probably the more difficult than the 3 losses because this Falcon team obviously is excellent.
Definitely. They look solid right now.
They call him AJ. Anthony Adamick, the quarterback slash halfback slash single wing back for Ledyard, will be the featured guy today. But first, we're going to get the kick from the 40 with the wind. Back deep for Ledyard, Dominic Botts and Diego Rosario Gonzalez. Carey will kick it off from the 40. It's a little squibber, almost like an onside kick, heading to the sideline. And I believe the Falcons have it. Was he inbounds? Yes, he was. Onside kick successful. Falcons have the football. Perfectly run and caught Ledyard on their heels.
It was a well-executed play, and special teams is going to be a big factor here. What he actually did was a cross-side kick, and it slides in the turf. It's not like grass where you could slide and have the outside edge runner just go full speed and perfect timing. It's just like a pass, but it's actually a ground kick. Kind of a rugby attitude there for the Falcons, right?
I was going to say soccer. That was a through ball.
Yeah, it was a through ball.
That was a through ball, and the outside guy ran on. That's you know, Mike DeMoro is out there right now. He's probably going to tell you that you know, wasn't down the spine. So first down, and Fitch will have it at the 37-yard line. Perry's going to throw. Deep ball down the sideline. McCoy, touchdown Falcons. Perfectly thrown football. Ben Perry to his favorite target, Calvin McCoy. Highlight reel play. Falcons stun the Colonels.
What a great call from Coach, and what happened there was a defensive breakdown. The corner actually played like it was going to be a run game, and then he just let the receiver go by. So that safety had to play 2 receivers. Obviously, was a great throw. Fitch Falcons are on fire right now, brother.
With a strong wind, Perry put it out where only McCoy could run it down, and as he often does, the senior ran underneath it and avoided looking into the sun, which we're told is a challenge. Carry into kick again. This time it's just inside the left upright and 2 haymakers. Falcons work the body, then through the uppercut.
That's right.
It's 14-0 with 8:19 remaining. We'll be right back. Happy Thanksgiving. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Fall is here, which means it's time for Game Day's Great 8. The best 8 plays of the week submitted by you, the viewers, on any of our social media platforms. You send us the best videos from practice or the game, any sport in the fall, and we might see about putting it on the Great 8 of the week. Thanksgiving games all over the place today, of course. New London NFA, the oldest high school football rivalry in the country, going to be featured on Fox today, and during the Green Bay Packers Thanksgiving Day game, there's going to be a feature on New London NFA, and I heard a great thing that the New London seniors gave their senior jerseys to people in the school.
What an influence.
That had an influence on them.
Yeah.
I thought that was beautiful.
It's good to see my sister Linda Hempstead there. That was a part of that. You know, that's one of the things that makes the New London culture special is the relationship with teachers and students there. So the players to give them their numbers is definitely an honor.
Carry to kickoff from the 40. What do the Falcons have this time? This time he ropes it out of bounds. So they'll give the Colonels an opportunity at their first offensive possession, and they'll have good field position on top of it. Got a special message for a young lady who was unable to attend the Thanksgiving Day game because she's home not feeling well. So, hey, Pate, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you feel better.
I would love to see how this defense stops this offense, which has been really explosive for the past several games here.
We're going to call the name Gianni Drab an awful lot, I can tell you that. Adamick is number 2. Standing next to him, Jackson Hayward, number 7. And the blocking back is Brian Johnson. He makes all the calls on everything they do. You don't know who it's going to get snapped to. It goes to Adamick. Adamick. Short gain on first down. And there was big 64, Gianni Drab. I said you're going to call his name a lot. Premier lineman in the ECC. You could certainly make an argument that he is as good as any. And right next to him, 75, Bishop Gaskins, a freshman. How much can that kid learn playing next to Drab, a senior and a freshman side by side?
It's been that kind of season where a lot of freshmen have stepped up to the plate and played some varsity football.
You see, Fitch, all 11 players within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage. Adamick cuts it back up the middle, nothing there. Falcons all over it. This time, Thomas Frazier first to the ball. 3rd and long for Ledyard.
I'm liking what this defense is doing right now. They're playing a power gap kind of defense, allowing the linebackers to just roam free. And right now, it seems like the defensive line is just hungry, pitchforking their way through the gaps and getting to the ball quicker before the backers even get there. So great defensive concept. But again, this single wing could be explosive. This offense goes all the way back to the 1900s and how it evolved to be. So we'll see some things here.
Snap to Adamick. Rolling right. Gets a block from Hayward. Cuts it back and nothing there. Fitch flowing to the football so well. Jesse Torwella Hudson first to their ball, and it's going to bring up 4th, and that's 3 plays for 3 yards. Something that Ledyard has not, faced in quite a while, and they'll send in Rosario Gonzalez to punt. We're going to go back to the start of the single wing, which they put in after a terrible loss. They lost to Wyndham, and they went to the single wing, and since then they've scored 37, 20, 43, 22, 35.
Yep. All this wind was a factor in that punt.
And Fitch is going to have the ball in Ledyard territory. Now, if they went body blows on the first drive and uppercut on the second drive, they're looking for the hook right here.
Yep.
They want the knockout punch, because I think 21-0 in the first period it's a heart stealer.
Yep, definitely could be a heart stealer.
And it's and just from a scheming standpoint, puts Ledyard in a very difficult spot.
They got to pull that Joe Frazier hook there, and they would definitely be on top of this game, dominating. But the momentum has started. The pre-games looked like they both were very energized, but Fitch was more disciplined. It seemed like they were confident and ready. Ledyard was more like, I'm just anxious. It's a really good moment to be here. But Fitch right now is just dominating all aspects of the game.
Carter. Nice gain, 8 yards from Porter Carter, the sophomore. He'll get up to the 35-yard line. I was talking with Peter Wappy before the game. We were talking about, how Fitch was going to approach it, defending it. And I said, well, you can. This is not a complicated offense. You can scheme defensively, and you're going to have a linebacker or a safety that needs to make the tackle, because they can scheme it so that it's pretty much 1v1.
Right.
Except when your guys are beating their guys at the line of scrimmage, at the point of attack. That's different. Perry pitches to Fine. Fine stutter steps, and a beautiful tackle in the open field by Rosario Gonzalez. It's going to bring up 3rd and a yard. So if everyone's blocking their guys, it becomes a one-on-one matchup between Adamick and a linebacker or safety. But right now, Fitch is getting 2 and 3 linemen to the point of attack before Ledyard can block him. And I don't think Ledyard expected that. I think they expected that their line, led by Rushchick and Tebbets, was going to be strong enough. And right now it's not. So right now the key to the Fitch defense on that first series was not the linebackers flowing, because every team has done that linebacker flowing to the hole. It's that that Adamick has had to step over 3 linemen before that linebacker.
Well, and to favor Fitch right now, the surprise is experience and time. They watched a lot of film, and they broke it down. The single wing was a surprise for the Colonels, and now Fitch has found a way to kind of stop it down.
Perry keeps, ball's loose, picked up, heading down the sideline, ball loose again, and now the Falcons have it. It's Adonis Fine. What a change of momentum. The Colonels had the ball. They had what they needed, and instead it goes right into the hands of Fine.
Talk about butter on a turkey. When he went to do the pitch, he wasn't expecting it. He thought that the quarterback's going to stick there, Perry hold it, but no, he pitched it out there, and it went out floated. I feel sorry for that little Colonel guy that was running there. He should have just secured the ball, but wow, at least Fitch gets the ball back, but it's a long, long way from where they started.
He saw a scoop and score. He saw Thanksgiving Day lore. He saw the annals of Colonel history.
Oh my goodness.
And Fine, to his credit, stayed with it, poked it loose, and picked it up.
Smart play, smart play. This is the opportunity that we wanted Ledyard to have. These are the things that they're going to need. And now we have, I guess, additional penalty here.
Yeah. A block in the back against the Falcons. So it's going to give the Falcons.
Wow. Talk about a skip, scap, skadoodle of a loss, huh?
All the way back to the 29. There are plays to describe and plays that are indescribable. And that play, I honestly thought when Fine picked it up, that he was going to go 50 yards for a touchdown.
So too.
Because that was the kind of play that it was. It was like exactly what Ledyard wanted and needed turned into a break for the Falcons. So after all is said and done, Falcons still have it. 1st and 10 at their own 34, and they're going to get an illegal procedure penalty as Fine and Carter were both moving at the same time.
Again, Fitch has to keep their composure. These are the things that are going to favor Ledyard. Little key mistakes, penalties, miscommunication with the call and the ball control is going to be a factor. If Ledyard gets favors on that one, we're going to have a close game here. Boy, this is the longest I think I've ever seen in this season with a distance this far.
It's a very, very young Colonels team, by the way. You can count the number of seniors on the roster. It's a very young team. So this switch, in some ways, this group next year is what Fitch is this year.
Right.
This group that has been playing together for years and years, led by McCoy and Perry and Fine and Drab. Perry keeps it himself. Ledyard doing a much better job flowing to the football. Tebbets, the first one there, the senior lineman for the Colonels.
That was a great play, boy. He found the way to get in there. Again, this is the thing that we're talking about. Penetration on the defensive line. If a defensive lineman can get to the hip of the offensive lineman and scrape and play, it makes it so much easier for them to kind of pursue and stop this option scheme here.
Second down and long. Perry rolls right, keeps it, has room, cuts inside of a blocker and gets back all of the penalty yardage and more. It'll bring back down a third and a very manageable 5.5. So 3rd and 7, much better than 2nd and 17, so 10 yards there. This would be a huge hold for Ledyard. Get the ball back and just show that they can, in fact, make a hold.
They got to be disciplined because right now Fitch is in that situation where they could throw a play action pass here. There's the matchup outside 1-to-1 here.
Great play by the Ledyard defense. Huge loss.
Big Daddy Tebbets on the play.
Tebbets, the senior, has come up big on this series, and it should be a punt for the Falcons.
I had the privilege to coach his dad back in the day in Stonington, and that energy that came out, boy, it's very reflective of the family tradition that he's passed on. Great play by Tebbets.
So the punt will take place with the wind standing at his 15-yard line. A line drive punt, not taking advantage of the wind and sailing out of bounds as Perry banged it for the Falcons, and the Colonels will have their second possession with 1:33 remaining in the quarter. And that was a huge defensive series for Ledyard.
A very weird series as well with that play. But that's what you expect here on Thanksgiving Day. We've seen this familiar kind of like last year where it seemed like Fitch was just going to dominate, and then there was that point where something happened, caused Fitch to be, just undisciplined, and Ledyard sticking around.
Ball marked at the 30-yard line, 1st and 10 Colonels. Brian Johnson, 32, you'll see him up by the line of scrimmage. He is the caller. He decides the reads. Then they move to a formation, and you see Jackson Hayward, 7, and Adamick, 2. The ball generally gets snapped to Adamick. He goes behind the block of Johnson and wrestles his own way forward for about 3.
Little football 101 for the parents out there. We call hip chasers. It's a drill that we teach defensive linemen. When a guard's pulling, and in this scheme what they did was they pulled the backside guard, that defensive lineman is unblocked on the backside, and he just chases it down and squeezes the play down. And what they're trying to do is just keep that compact so that the defense can secure the tackle. Otherwise what's going to happen is that little gap can open up. So the defensive linemen seem like to be working a lot of technical movements while they're reading their play.
Now there's a counter to that, so that if that defensive end crashes too hard, there's a counter back to that other side,
exactly,
which Ledyard runs.
Right.
So if he pinches early and crashes down, they'll run it the other way. Adamick gets to the 35-yard line, nothing more. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5 for the Colonels. That's one of the wrinkles that I like about, so everything will suggest that play.
Right.
Guard pulls, so the defensive end who's keying that guard is crashing down, and instead the counter runs inside and gets or outside of that crashing defensive end.
And then when you shift, these guys are shifting. It's creating what's called an unbalance on the line where they have an extra lineman on that side to favor the blocking. So it's really good, the offensive scheme with the single wing for Ledyard.
There's the end of the first period. 14-0 Falcons. A big third down play coming up for the Colonels. Happy Thanksgiving. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Being part of a great community is so important. People helping and supporting others can be very uplifting and contagious. At Philomena's Restaurant, that's exactly what you get. It's the community hub for not just Waterford, but all of southeastern Connecticut. Birthday parties, anniversary dinners, weddings, sports banquets, a drink with friends, and of course, charity events. Philomena's has been, is, and will always be there for the community. Celebrate and support southeastern Connecticut at Philomena's. Philomena's, Utopia Plaza in Waterford.
14-0 Falcons at the end of the first period. Let's bring in the czar of the scoreboard, Peter Wappy. Let us know what's going on elsewhere in the state.
So a couple local scores. We got East Lyme 7, Waterford 6, and Westerly 14, Stonington 0.
This is a game for Stonington to get in. They need to win. They knew that was going to be an uphill battle against a very talented Westerly team, a one-loss Westerly team. Here we have a 3rd and 4 for the Colonels. Now they're heading with the wind. Johnson calls the shift out, and a hard count gets Drab, of all people, to jump. The senior said, "You got me with chicanery."
That's been the hiccup for the season. You know how many, just hard counts have been used in one season. It's been really a great experience because there's been a lot of penalties on that.
First down for the Colonels comes via the hard count. Well, I think part of it is this year we've seen more teams in the league go to wing-based, under center types of offenses. Wyndham, Bacon Academy, Ledyard, Fitch to some extent when they do it. There's a lot more of it, and I think the hard count, because they're running off of that rhythm.
Right.
And it's not like the quarterback doing the clap from the shotgun or the pistol. This is, the get up and they go off the same quick count. Makes you a little susceptible. There's the direct snap, this time to Jackson Hayward, and well defended on the weak side by the Falcons. Gain of 1 for the Colonels.
So, when we talk about hard count, it's actually, the energy of the count. So when a quarterback usually says set hut, it's just a basic rhythm movement that we see traditionally. And we filmed that, we watched that. But when you got that hut pop, coming in there, something in your body triggers movement. And so when you have a quarterback that has what we call that loud mouth kind of energy, that can help out a lot in the offense, especially third and short situations like that.
And then after this play, we'll talk a little bit about the opposite way that some offenses can go. Adamick gets back to the line of scrimmage. The snap was a little low, and nice job flowing to the football, Dylan Beebe. So, for example, most teams go down, set, hut, and the hard count would be hut, right? Yep. Sometimes, if they want to go quick and catch them off guard in the huddle, the quarterback will say, okay, 22 jet sweep, R package, zebra, ghost, pepper, over shift, LYZ, Jodeci in the 90s was the best, on down. And the problem is, no one remembers the play doesn't, no one remembers the play anymore. Because they're going, on down, don't move, it's on down. Yep. There's another jump.
Almost, there's another one. There you go.
So far, the best offense of the Ledyard Colonels has been the hard count.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the first person to forget the call will be the center. I have experience in that, and I used to always, God bless Todd Uckel, he would always give me the tap to let me know. But another thing that you can add into this call feature is a silent count. Sometimes just a ready movement or a set where a quarterback taps the center inside, goes with that snap, can take that momentum from the defense. And I think that's what they're trying to do, is just get this aggressive defense to settle down a little bit.
3rd and 4. The penalty certainly helped. Adamick bounces it outside and has a Colonel first down on the strength of his legs. Anthony Adamick, AJ, with the first down for the Colonels. I remember the Patriots for years and years with Brady would run that quarterback sneak without any of the linemen knowing it other than his center. He would go up to the center and he would smack him on which side of the butt he wanted him to angle. and then he would go. And the lineman said, we don't even know. He'll just come up, he'll see, the nose shifted or whatever he needs, and he'll just quick and go.
We used to have that in our package where if the quarterback seen that the defensive lineman was spreading to take care of outside run game and leave that A-gap, both A-gaps available, a quick tap would be the signal. Yeah.
First down, Colonel, still waiting for a big play. Adamick on the reverse counter, and that's a good gain of 4 on first down. Been waiting for something a little different. That time they gave it to Dominic Botts on the little, we'll call it a, I guess since Adamick gets the direct snap, it's just a counter.
Yeah, and it's just a counter without the handoff. You're right there. But this is one thing that I'm seeing with Ledyard is really helpful. They're running the clock. They're getting their defense out and basically focusing on this. If they get a chance to score here, this will be a very close game. So now that the offense is starting to understand what's available with what this defense is giving them, I see the confidence building right now for the Colonels.
Yeah, I feel like we body blow, and uppercut, right? Now they've settled. Now they've settled. Now we're in round 3. Rocky's looking across at Apollo, winking at him, going, I'm going to be here a little while.
I'm going to be here a little while, yep. Turkey leg's still cooking.
2nd and 6. Adamick cuts it back inside early, and he'll get maybe a yard or 2. And I got to tell you, it's really a pleasure to watch how Fitch isn't just approaching it from a schematic standpoint, how they're executing. We got a flag on the field as well. They're going to pick up the flag.
Might have just popped out during the tackle.
Windy. It was windy. Wind blew it right out. But I like how they're executing. It's not just scheme, right? You can scheme it all the live long day. It doesn't mean you can execute it. And right now, the Falcons are in this nice blend of scheme and execution. And Ledyard, if Ledyard can't, get those one-on-one matchups that they need, then they're going to have to try to do something a little different. There's that reverse counter again, and this time Drab was waiting for it. Drab, along with Beebe, got Botts before he could get even to the line of scrimmage. It's a loss, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
So when you go against single wing teams, one thing about the single wing is that in this formation, what they're doing, there is not that backside threat of a pass. So you can add a linebacker or a hybrid linebacker safety prototype player to work that edge there. And so this defense, instead of it just being your 4-3 look, sometimes it's forced to a 5-3 where you have 5 defensive linemen coming down and going after them. So great mix-up by the Falcons with the defensive scheme.
Good punt inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Falcons will have it 14-0 here with 7:07 remaining in the half. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what? Perry, as the Falcons with the possession, hands off to Cook, the fullback. Freshman rumbles up to the 25-yard line. And that's the first time we've seen Perry really attack the middle. He's been doing a lot on the outside. They've been waiting for Ledyard to overcommit, and now that dive is there.
Yeah, I think go back to the basics, and I think this is what coach is doing. Give the dive. Let's set the tone. When they started doing that, their drive was successful. When they got off of it and he tried to work the outside, that was where they started making some key mistakes. So keep it right there with the fundamentals.
Sometimes you got to run the dive a few times just to get the middle to respect it so you can get back outside again. This time Perry keeps it himself, crosses the 30-yard line. It'll be a first down. Fitch, as Perry loves to run it in between the tackles, and you see he's very, I don't know if it's elusive as much as it is patient with his vision. Yeah. He's really patient, follows his blocks really well.
I think he's jumped into what we call the matrix of the game. He's seeing it where it's coming from. He saw that the defensive lineman squeezed to the fullback. He could pull it out easier. A lot of confidence in that kid.
There's a jet sweep to Carter, and Carter puts the ball on the turf. The officials, though, say he was down. I think that's a good call. 38-yard line will be a short gain, 4-yard gain for Fitch as the clock ticks under 6 minutes.
That's the great thing about two running teams. This clock will work its way out. We'll be probably back home before the turkey's done.
Well, on the way over here, as I was driving, the road was closed.
Yes,
and I had to work my way around. And I don't know the area all that well, so now I got to wonder, should I try to go back home that way, or should I go?
Just follow me. We're uptown guys, you know what I'm saying? We can take the 2 train and work our way to Madison Square Garden.
It was so fresh that I didn't even have I didn't even have any detour signs up yet. It was just the tape across the road.
I got to give a shout out to Miss Siri helping me out today with that.
Perry keeps it himself, has a big gain, first down, crosses midfield into Colonel territory. Botts makes the tackle, but not until the Falcons continue the drive. Another first down.
I'll tell you, the coach is great at what he does, but the guys up top that are watching this game in that kind of angle, the way we look at it, is seeing some things that I know is really successful for the offense. They knew that the backside, there was a mismatch. There was not a pitch player there. So they ran that backside play pretty effectively.
1st and 10, Falcons, ball at the Ledyard 47-yard line. I think the Falcons would be perfectly happy taking this thing down and scoring going into halftime 21-0. As soon as I say that, watch, McCoy down the sideline.
Here comes the pass play soon.
Handoff to the fullback, well defended, flag coming in. That's usually in the area of holding. We'll see what the call is. Bussey was the ball carrier for the Falcons. We'll see the flag, the officials. It is, in fact, a hold against the Falcons, so that'll back them up.
You know, both these teams are inside what I call a 15-yard packed zone. You know, usually we have safeties that play 10 to 12 yards on coverage and reading. We have linebackers that play a depth of, 4.5 yards with their toes reading. But here, it's just like, we're expecting you to run. We're going to commit to the run. And this is where these opportunities of great big pass plays can happen.
So that's going to be 1st and 20. Ball now back on the Falcon 43-yard line. Clock ticking with 4 minutes and 15 seconds here in the half. Perry, handoff, Bussey. Bussey breaks a tackle. Bussey has all of the penalty yardage back, and he's an additional 2, so it'll bring up 2nd and 8 now as the ball is marked right at the 45-yard line.
Oh, man, that fullback is exceptional. That play is unbelievable. It's the simplest, but at the same time, the most aggressive play to use. And when that running back went through, I can hear Tommy Majors yelling. The linebackers are like, fullback, get that fullback. You know, a defense that can neutralize a fullback and really take him out of his game can really disrupt the option scheme. So if Ledyard doesn't do that, we're going to have problems.
Bussey, only a sophomore. Bussey, Cook, and Porter Carter, sophomore, freshman. Fine. Jet sweep. Tries to get to the outside, and nicely done. Pushed out of bounds there by Rosario Gonzalez.
Well defended.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 7 with 3:20 in counting here in the first half.
Seen a lot of the alums from Colonel Land here. Players and families, boy, they're bundled up today. This weather is cold, and the winds are gusting.
It's actually a beautiful day,
yeah.
Temperature-wise, if the wind wasn't, 30 miles an hour.
This is natural here in Ledyard. You could have a sunny day, 80 degrees, but still have some kind of wind coming across.
3rd and 7, ball at the 44-yard line. Falcons with 2.5 minutes remaining in the half, trying to keep this drive alive. Perry gives the dive to Cook, and well defended by the Colonels, gets to the 40-yard line. It's going to bring up a 4th and short. I expect the Falcons to go for it.
Obviously, I would do the same thing right now. Our defense is running very well. Coach is confident with that. Why not take a chance here?
That was Bussey again, by the way. The sophomore, Sean Bussey, has been getting some fullback work. We are used to 42, Devin Cook. He got some early carries. We haven't seen him lately. It's been Bussey. So Cook on the sidelines, Bussey getting those fullback carries.
These Falcons are taking advantage of a meal as they're munching the clock right now. We're inside 2 minutes. What a quick first half here.
2 minutes away from halftime, which will have all kinds of highlights, the band, as well as pie.
Timeout on the field.
So while we've got a timeout here, I want to ask you guys a question. Looking across at the chain crew, it's 4th down. Have we seen an on-field measurement yet this year?
Yes.
Yes, once.
Once, if you remember, it was from the far side, and the gentleman who was on the chain couldn't make it across the field,
Yes.
so they actually brought the official went and grabbed the chain from him because he couldn't make it all the way across. It's the only one we've seen.
That was one, yeah.
So I had to wonder, like, is that a new point of emphasis with officiating?
Yes.
That we're not going to go through,
Yes.
through the measurements?
Yeah, and it's
called
not
close enough.
it's not just in high school. If you watch in college and even in pros, what they're doing now is when it's close to the mark, they're trying hard to just make a decision. They want either 4th and a yard or a 1st down. They
Right.
don't want anything in that would require a measurement. They're really trying to avoid. So you're seeing them basically like
Keeping it going, keep it moving.
I am so happy about that
Yeah.
because the on-field chains is the most unnecessary bit of theater in sports.
I would agree.
In my opinion.
I would agree. So 4th and 5, big play here, Colonel's defense. Perry, beautiful call to Porter Carter. Can he stay outside and can he get to the first? Reaching the tackle made by Green, but I think Carter got enough.
What a play. I mean, it was greatly defended by Ledyard. They did a great job keeping it there, but his reach at the end was unbelievable. He stretched it out, and they're giving it to him.
He needed 5. He got 5 and 6 inches. The Colonels are not happy about it.
Peter, this is what we were talking about. Sometimes the referees will use that actual line, so if it's the line, they can measure it by those hashes.
Big play to keep the drive alive. Can now the Colonel defense hold, or will the Falcon offense take advantage? Minute and a half remaining. Fine goes in motion. Perry fakes the toss, rolls, throws in the flat, complete to Bussey. Bussey hit and wrapped up quickly by Tebbets. And the clock is running now with 1:18 remaining.
I tell you right now, he threw the flat route because that was probably the quickest route, but there was some receivers in the backside wide open, so the Colonel's got to be ready to stay and read their keys because they're letting the receivers run by. Seems like that backside tight end, number 9, was wide open there.
Bussey looks like he gets the carry here on 2nd down. He's popped.
Wow.
Middle of the line.
A great Thanksgiving hit there by the big man, 54.
Naziah Carr with
Wow.
a big hit.
He tried to jump through the gap and get there, but Nazir was like, he ain't having it. The rock bottom was given to him.
54 seconds remaining. The Falcons take a timeout. We're going to bring Peter Wappy back on. Peter, what can the folks at home expect for halftime today?
So we will have the Ledyard Marching Band. We've also got the championship edition of Grade 8. And we've got features on AJ Adamick from Ledyard and Ben Perry from Fitch.
That's an action-packed halftime. Of course, after all of that, you're going to want to stay tuned for 3 pieces of pie. Rather than 3 pounds of pasta.
That's all right. I'll take the pie today.
Do 3 pounds of pie at halftime.
I took my sugar medication.
And I'm just going to give you notice, Peter. You are going to be on air for all 3 of these questions. There's no extra little whipped cream bowl at the end. You're on for all of them.
So you didn't warn me. I didn't make a new graphic. So it's still going to be the pasta graphic, unfortunately.
It will be
That's
3
all right.
pounds of pasta, but I'm just telling you right now, it's pasta pie.
Yeah, in Spanish you say pastella. It means, like a dessert, so maybe we're there, like a pastry.
Pasta pie.
Yeah.
You ever had spaghetti pie?
Good stuff, good stuff.
Spaghetti in the form of a pie. That's what we're having today. Perry rolls right, going to keep it himself. Gets a block on the outside from Cook. And he'll have a 1st down on a beautiful 3rd down play. 45 seconds, clock running. Falcons trying to get back up on the football.
Coach is very patient right now. He knows he can just run this clock down, but he wants to try to get a chance to score here.
Fakes the toss. Perry deep over the middle, looking for McCoy. Jump ball. Calvin McCoy.
What
man
a catch.
among men. He took it away from Jamel Curse.
Wow.
Touchdown. Falcons. Heartbreak Colonel.
Talk about hungry. He went and grabbed that turkey leg right up in the air and made it happen. And this is what Ledyard did not want to have. Oh, a long drive that killed over 4+ minutes, and they got a score. And there's your favorite muddle huddle, my brother. I know that's making your lip curl like Jack Lambert.
Well, that pass was a 50-50 ball.
Yeah.
It could have been intercepted. It could have been knocked away. But Calvin McCoy just went up and took it away like a young, hungry Casey O'Neill and,
Oh, yeah.
and a turkey leg.
I loved your leap back in the day. You know, you used to catch the ball on second base, like snatch it and everything.
I used to pretend it was a turkey leg. That kick is blocked, and it's a doink. Doink and short.
Very critical.
The old block doink short.
Very
Peter,
critical there.
what do you got, Peter?
So some more scores. Eastline and Waterford tied at 13.
Ooh.
Stonington now trailing Westerly 20-0. And over at New London NFA, Tyree Barnes, 2 touchdowns, including a 77-yard touchdown kickoff return.
Woo!
14-7 for the Whalers. And then up in Woodstock, Woodstock and Killarney just getting underway. Woodstock has won the coin toss.
Well, that's a big win there for Woodstock. They got off to a good start. You can't win everything if you don't win the coin toss.
That's right. Kids.
Killingly needs to get in with a win.
It's great to see a lot of the ECC teams here that are working and battling towards the playoffs. You know, in the beginning of the season, we questioned who was the 1 or 2. But to have several of them out there representing and making this opportunity to get there, it's just a great experience for the league.
And Stonington has just scored, so it is now 20-8. Looks like going into halftime.
There you go, Stonington pride.
Well, so Fitch is in, and they're 21 points ahead towards a home game. Wyndham is in, they're going to have a home game. Griswold is in, and they're still playing for the possibility of a home game.
Yes.
Killingly is in with a win, and right now Stonington needs a win, but they're trailing. Ledyard needs a win and a lot of help, but they're 21 points outside of that. Line drive kick. It's live, and it's still live, and that one was in the Falcons' hands, but the Colonels recover. And boy, that was greased pig. You like ham on Thanksgiving? Because there's a greased pig.
That was a ham. Oh, Lord. That's what I always question about turf. When you have to practice fumble drills on turf, because the movement of the ball can change in just a fraction of a second. Again, the squib kick is really effective because it causes a flat spin, and then from there, the angle of the ball, we're talking about physics that I didn't take in high school. I just was in geometry. Thank you, Mr. McNichol. You know, could pop up and create a diversion like that. So, man, the science of football.
Direct snap. Adamick runs a little counter. Good gain, puts his helmet down and gets up close to the first down. Best run of the game for Adamick and Ledyard. Timeout, Colonels. So the word squib brings to mind the ocean creature that I like to eat, calamari, otherwise known as a squid.
Squidward, yeah.
And also the very little bird, which I believe is pigeon, which is squab.
Squab.
So is squab pigeon, or is squab its own thing?
If it's edible, I eat it.
I don't have the answer.
I think squab. All right, I'm gonna go right here and we're gonna find out, because I think squab
go on it.
is pigeon, but
Hey, Siri.
when I hear squib, I think squab and squid. If a squid,
Because if you squabble, it's the pigeons all talking, right? And they're not getting along. That's a
it
squabblization.
is. It's pigeon. I was right. Squab is pigeon.
You got it.
Domestic pigeon. So if a pigeon were to fall in love with a squid, they would make squib.
Yeah.
And that's what the kick is named after.
And there you have it, the squib kick.
That's how it came about. 2nd and 1, 48-yard line, 13 seconds remaining here in the first half. Hayward to throw it, has a man, overshoots Botts.
Pass intended for Dominic Botts is incomplete.
9 on the ticker.
That'll bring up 3rd and 1.
Bring up 3rd and 1.
I think the Falcons right now realize they just got to play 4 deep, and they're doing that right now. Let them run the rock and kill the clock. But the Falcons defensively has shown an awesome energy of dominating today. They want to earn them turkey legs today.
Third and a yard. Adamick keeps it himself and dragged down from behind by Drab, but I believe he has enough for the first down with only 3 seconds remaining. However, that'll probably take us to halftime. And we are at halftime. So again, you want to stay tuned here at halftime or for the Ledyard Colonel Marching Band for the championship edition of the Great 8 for features on Ben Perry and AJ Adamick. And then when are you going to come back for 3 pounds of Thanksgiving pasta all here on Game Day. 20-0 Falcons as we head to halftime.
Pass
You're
me the
watching
gravy.
Game Day live on theday.com. It's time for Game Day's Grade 8 Plays of the Week. First at number 8, Wyndham Football, second play of the game, J.C. Diaz. Hey, let's race. He's going. Beat ya. J.D. with the T.D. Whips win 55-6, heading to the playoffs. At number 7, Nick Cannella. Stonington Soccer, semifinals versus Ram. Already saved 3 PKs, and give that kid a theme song. 4 PK saves, sending the Bears to the final. Perhaps the premier hookup in the ECC, Jax Higgins. The bomb, who's on the other end? Well, it's Quinn Speller, of course. Waterford beats Weaver. Those two are dynamite. At number 5, Dominic Stefanski for East Lyme Soccer with the cross. Robbie Stoddard, Rocket Man. 2-1, Stoddard, championship MVP. At number 4, Audrey Palmer, speaking of champions. Hey, carted off the field in regulation. How about I come back and bury 2 PKs and keep the Bobcats alive in the championship? At number 3, Chase Donnarumma, Stonington Soccer in the M Finals against Lewis Mills. 1 touch, and I will score with glorious purpose. At number 2, speaking of the champions, East Lyme Soccer against Notre Dame. Finian Gates touches it to himself, and well, Finn gets the win for the Vikes. Skol! But at number 1, what a week for Queen Elizabeth. Liz Glover, the keeper, with the game-winning PK. Hey, Bobcats, celebrate. You are etched in the annals of lore in Colchester. Those are your Grade 8 Plays of the Week. Send us yours, and maybe you'll get in next week's Grade 8. After the game, follow Game Day CT on social media to see our pick for the Scient Federal Credit Union top play. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient Federal Credit Union. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. We're back 20-0 here at halftime. Falcons on top of the Colonels. A fabulous job from the Ledyard band, taking us back to the Old West. We had some Bonanza Ponderosa style joy here at halftime. Beautifully done. We're going to start up here with our 3 pounds of pasta, but before we do that, a public service announcement from Game Day. Game Day is not responsible for the energy level or antics of our co-host, Jose Pasta Sanabria, in the second half due to elevated sugar levels from a large piece of pecan pie.
Big slice, big slice.
So there was a big piece of pecan pie. The pie has been decimated by the Game Day staff, and for those of you that don't know, the normally excitable, very high energy Coach Sanabria does it with no sugar. When he gets some sugar, Tasmanian Devil comes to mind, the Chihuahua dog comes to mind a little bit. Sometimes
and the Porky Pig, but that's all, folks.
All right, so it's time for 3 pounds of pasta, Thanksgiving Day edition, and we're going to bring Peter Wappy in because we're going to have him for the whole time. So for the first pound of pasta, is simply this: if you could, for a day, go back in time or into the future, what would you choose?
Wow, I'll go back in time because there were times there that I would like to go back and reflect that I know now was a little bit off, but the kids are doing it now. So it's kind of like between 85 and 95 is my kind of swagger era where I sit back and think about the Pat Benatar hairs and Cyndi Laupers and the evolution of like music and then the hip hop growing up in there. It's such a mixture of things that I enjoy.
So if you could go back in time, you wouldn't go back to to watch Elvis get born, or the beginning of Motown, or to the Revolutionary War, or to the Roman chariots. You'd go back to bad hair in the 80s?
That's right, because 85 to me was the start of what pasta became, and actually at that time was a young little kid that was a little paisano, loved by the community, and fed, and from there that era was great for me. So I definitely enjoyed the 85 to 95 time.
All right, Peter, would you go back in time or into the future?
I would go into the future and fight alongside John Connor.
Oh, there you go.
All right, that's but the sad thing is isn't that future now our past?
Yeah, if you think about it.
So the future that they indicated in that movie is actually now our past. So you have to go into the future
only a day
to fight in the past.
Yeah.
And I want a hoverboard.
The one that actually works, like a Back to the Future actual hoverboard that works.
Hoverboard.
That'd be good.
Not whatever those things are now. Well, here's the thing. So for Peter's going into the future, and you're going into the 80s, which is like hilarious. Yeah. I'm going into the past, and I'm going back to. I want to go back to the day the meteor hit. The extinction event of the dinosaurs. Assuming that I can get out of there in time, I want to go back. I want to witness some dinosaurs, and I want to see that meteor hit the Earth.
I can see a brontosaurus be like, "Hey, Vern, do you see that big thing coming?"
I want to see what was really going on back then. That's me. So Peter's going to go into the future, but we don't know how far into the future because the movie's so old now that the future is the past. So, if you could go into the future, Peter, how far would you go?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because there's a good chance that the Earth won't even be here if you go too far.
Yeah.
So, gotta hit your sweet spot.
I guess tomorrow, because the machines are coming, right?
That's exactly right. All right, so that's interesting. All right, so I pose this next question in terms of the past. I'm going to start with Peter Wappy. I'm going to give Pasta a chance to get in that pie a little bit. The greatest decade of music for you, and I know it does not have to be the decade of the 90s decade, the greatest 10-year period, whatever you want to call it, of music for you. Peter, what's your greatest 10-year music?
So I was going to go mid-'80s to mid-'90s, like 84 to 94. That way we can include albums like Unforgettable Fire, The Smiths' first album, right up to 94, Weezer's Blue Album, Biggie's Ready to Die.
Woo! Wow, you call Biggie out.
Before I let Pasta go, I'm gonna. So when I was thinking decades, the 90s is my primary decades for music because I thought it had the diversity of music that I loved. You had Pearl Jam's album that I loved. You had 10, which was one of my favorite albums of all time, and hip hop started to hit its stride in the 90s. And it also allowed me to get a lot of my electronica started to get into the 90s. And you had to me, and plus you had all the what we called it alternative at the time, but you had things like Blink-182 and groups like that. So
Nirvana.
But I think Peter's onto something by starting it in the mid 80s because you get Michael Jackson, Madonna, things like that as well. So Pasta, what's your greatest decade?
I'm gonna go way, way, way back. I'm a late 60s, 70s, kind of Clarence Clearwater revival, classic rock, with some Parliament funkadelics, some great rock and roll music, some Bruce Springsteen at the end of it, But those were the foundations of what we had, thereafter. So I really enjoy that music. I listen to it more now than I did then because just for me it's kind of like that phase where I just love the way it came from. And a lot of my little kids that I had to take care of, when I play that in the truck on the way home, they love it. So
well, there you have it.
Some fries.
The last pound of pasta is a simple one word.
Yep.
The food you're most looking forward to today, Peter, is?
Blueberry pie.
Woo!
Pasta?
Me?
Yes.
I already had it. Pecan. I'm done.
All right. Everything is the word that comes to mind, but I am looking forward to the pies today. I can't lie. Falcons going to kick off from the 40-yard line. Kerry approaches and hits a line drive right up the middle, and it bounces off a Colonel, and the Colonels will fall on it at the 25-yard line. The Colonels have had a absolute series of fits with the Falcon kickoffs today. They have not yet really gotten a return in any of the kickoffs.
Great job with the special team. So very strategic. They're not really going to the deep guy. They're actually working it across the people that don't have experience. Again, film work does that. When you start to evolve to be a playoff team, you're looking at all aspects of it. Those are the steps that you need to take to get better. That will utilize yourself for the playoffs. So I think Fitch has done a great job planning this game.
I think the fries that Peter's eating would be good dipped in the pecan pie.
No, I don't know if I do that right now.
Sweet and salty?
Oh, my God. That'll be American poutine.
All right, Colonels, first down. They don't have the double backfield. Instead, it's a direct snap to Adamick, and he's going to get outside to the 30-yard line. Ball's on the turf, but the officials say he was down, second down. Give Cook credit. He was out there because Adamick normally beats that end or that linebacker to the sideline, and that time the end was able to get there. So good gain, 5 yards, first down.
That's the thing with Falcons that can neutralize their speed in pursuit. They'll give a couple of yards like this, but they'll continue to stay there stifling that offense, and they're waiting for the offense to make those mistakes.
2nd and 5. So we've already seen a slight change in formation. They had been having Hayward next to Adamick as the lead blocker on that one. He was not there. Now they're back to their traditional set. Botts comes over onto the left side of the formation. Adamick follows Hayward, and Adamick having to fight for everything. He gets 2.5, 3 yards, and it'll be 3rd and short. But give credit, the line of Fitch is turning the line of scrimmage into a very treacherous running area for Adamick. There's just bodies to step over.
Well, when you look at this scheme about the single wing, it's angle blocking, getting guys to get blocked down, wash down, kick out, and try to open up those seams there. But the defense is penetrating, which is causing those down blocks to be actually neutralized, and that's what's causing those problems here for the offense.
Big 3rd and 1. Adamick runs the counter in the other direction. Adamick breaks into the open and crosses the 45. Big play for A.J. Adamick and a first down for the Colonels.
What a great lane of blocking right there. As again, you've seen the down wash and the kick out and a forced strong block. leading the hole right there for a great gain in the first down.
I want to give one more shout out to Peter Wappy for his answer for music, because I think he hit the most genres of music.
Yeah, he did.
That was pretty impressive. Dropping
Smalls,
the
man.
mic on Biggie. I love that.
Called us Biggie. I love it when we call it Big Wappy.
First, jet sweep to
What a
Curse.
play.
And he's not fooling the Falcons. A loss of 5.
Big Devin Edwards, that outside linebacker who's actually playing that crash linebacker position, read it smoothly and just got off the block and made a play there.
So as it stands right now, the ECC was looking to get as many as 6 schools in the playoffs. 3 are in already: Fitch, Windham, and Griswold. Killingly is playing right now. We'll get an updated score for you when we have it against Woodstock Academy. Killingly wins it in. Stonington needs to win to get in, and they were trailing by 2 touchdowns to
Westerly.
Westerly will get you that score, and of course Ledyard needs win and help, and they're down 21. And we're going to get a jump, but I believe Barbosa is going to end up called for the illegal procedure on the far side, as he jumped when the Falcons jumped and everyone jumped.
That bark call right now made an offensive player move. And that's tough. That's something that you have to repeat and practice. I remember one practice that Coach Bunicor had. We were working on the cadence count, and those guys were like really off. We ran so many sprint drills after that. By that time, Coach was like, forget it. We'll just stay with our regular count.
I'm going to ask you a question after this particular play here on 2nd and 20 from the 35. Adamick keeps it. Spins, crosses the 40-yard line. So the play that seems to be gone from the modern playbook of high school, and I'm wondering if it's a function of the offenses only, is the old-fashioned screen pass.
Yep.
We see bubble screens as almost like a running play, but we don't see the old-fashioned let the lineman come in, dump it off to the back for a screen. Why is that?
Well, the evolution of the defensive lineman and the drills that they do now has changed. We did, good things that I learned when I was coaching at New London was a barrel drill where the guys sprint upfield, touch the barrel, and sprint back. So the reaction time is definitely, different. After this play, I'll talk a little bit more about it.
3rd and 14. Curse comes in motion. Adamick bangs into him and falls down.
Oh, it's tough right there. But going back to the screen again, it's a slow developing play. You want this quarterback to tippy-toe, make him kind of get those linemen to really go at him. And back then, that was easy because the defensive linemen were just told to go up to the quarterback. But now when they see something like that or they see that on film, they can react quicker. So it's tough to do a middle screen. They do now what's called a jailbreak, where a receiver actually runs towards the middle, and then the defensive lineman, not expecting it to happen, you can throw it to a receiver.
Good snap. Punt is high. Wind's going to help that one out. Does it get a bounce? It gets a sideways bounce, and the Falcons will have their possession at the 40-yard line. So going back to the start of the season for Ledyard, they opened up, got beat 42-10 by Sheehan. And in retrospect, not a bad loss. Sheehan at 5-4 is 6th in Class MM. They then lost. They then beat Weaver 28-6. And in fairness, at that time, Weaver was the worst team in Connecticut. They were really, really struggling. The next week, they would lose 49-6 to Bacon Academy. They would lose to a number of teams before finally beating Montville for their only win. We saw Ledyard play perhaps the worst game we've seen it play when we broadcast their game at Montville on September 22nd.
Right.
First down, Perry, handoff, Cook, about 5 on first. They then went and moved the ball not at all in a 21-7 loss to Windham before they switched to this single wing. Since then, they beat Waterford, they lost to Griswold, they beat Bacon, they lost to Killingly, they beat Stonington, but they've been very efficient. That last play where Adamick runs into Curse and falls down looked a lot like what we saw earlier in the year as they've started to try to do plays like that jet sweep run because of how effective Fitch's line has been disrupting the single wing.
Definitely.
Fine goes in motion. Perry keeps it, runs option left, pitches to Fine, and he's going to get stopped right at the first down marker. And I think he's short because he tried to cut it inside, and the defender did a beautiful job.
On the tackle,
As the time and the season goes, you know that things do change, and I always try to. That's what I've learned about great coaches. They know the factor of how the ball will be during a cold day, a rainy day. You have to practice those things.
Perry was going to do a quarterback sneak, but they say that Ledyard was in the neutral zone, so that's going to give Fitch a first down and put them into Ledyard territory as the clock runs in what we expect to be a very quick second half.
Yeah, the defensive lineman there was lining up just a little bit, but his helmet actually broke the plane there. And, you know, if a teammate was right there next to him, usually our outside linebackers would be like, hey, back up there a little bit. But they were aggressive. They wanted to get on the ball. And the tempo for the Falcons right now has been upbeat. So Falcons are right now favoring this energy and running this clock in the second half. Their time of possession must be profound in this time. We had some of those stats that probably showed why they're dominating the game.
Fine goes in motion, handoff on the dive to Cook, big hole and a gain of 8 yards as Cook starting to get a little more involved here on the drive to start the half for Fitch.
If you smell what Cook is cooking, right now he's getting yards.
You know, one thing I've always loved about the English language is how much we try to mess up people from other countries who want to learn it. You mentioned breaking the plane, and I thought to myself, you know, if you had a plane on the plane, you might not be able to see it.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of reasons why the rest of the world hates the English language.
That's why 2-2 is 2.
Oh, a big shift here. Falcons moving everybody around. Fine comes in motion, direct snap to Carter. Carter has the first down crossing the 35-yard line.
I think this game alone, we've seen so many shift formations. Obviously, Ledyard does that as a routine. But to surprise things like that with a shift, and your favorite muddle huddle, obviously that's something that we'll continue to proudly work on so that you can fall in love with that. I just haven't seen a muddle huddle for the past decade that's run a play. You know, I scored 2 points in college.
I did
with
not.
the muddle huddle, yeah. That's why I had number 81. I was upset thinking that you couldn't get 51, but the coach said, we're going to use you sometimes. And, yeah, I had a nice little corner touchdown, 2-point conversion.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. I scored more than I scored in elementary basketball. True, facts.
On a windy day like today, I would prefer the cuddle huddle.
The cuddle huddle is a good one too. It's where we all get together and do a little 360.
Linemen just snuggling up a little bit.
Like the Chiefs. The Chiefs did that during their playoff run last year.
First and a windy 10. You can hear the wind. Perry keeps it himself. Now he tries to break it outside, and Ledyard bots is the first one there. Cal Cassavant on there as well. Second down and 7.
I'm definitely excited how Coach Ellis is really just doing ball management, playing safe, not doing anything that's going to expand the realm of other teams right now. Because at this time, even though we have a lot of Fitch Nation family members and Colonel family members, in between there's scouts that are watching this and keeping an eye on what they can do. So being ahead like this, you could play that conservative football and play it effectively.
Perry on the dive to Cook. He's wrapped up after a short gain, and it'll be 3rd and 5. I will say the advance of technology has taken away one of the great joys. I'm going back to the Tyson Wheeler state championship era. Coach Ralph Ruggiero sent me and Mike Bassetto to scout Sheehan.
Yep.
We had to drive to Sheehan because you couldn't see Sheehan otherwise. Now you don't have to send scouts anybody. Where you could just go watch all their huddle film. Remember, getting film used to be a big deal. 3rd and short. Perry, big hole for Cook on the dive. First down, Falcons.
I remember we used to waste a lot of gas money meeting up with somebody like it was a deal and be like, hey, you got your 2 films and I got my 2 films, and then we would exchange it that way, very serious, and after that leave and find a place to have some hot wings.
I remember when Mike Bassetto and I went to Sheehan and we watched the first quarter of the game, and I looked at my notes, he looked at his notes, and both of our notes said they can't beat us, and we left after the first quarter. So you're fine, coach, don't worry about it. Oh, what a great defensive play.
Awesome job.
Carr was the first one there and dragged Perry down. So you can say Perry was just hit by a car on first down.
One of my farthest trips to scout was with my first year here at New London, and Papa Bunicor said, you and Coach Ficini are going to go all the way to New York to scout a team.
He, of course, was in shorts.
Yeah, and he was in shorts with his East Catholic outfit. We went out there, and I had my Delaware State gear, and people thought that I was scouting from college. And we actually sat with the fans and say, who's that? He goes, that's my son. He runs like this. We got all the stats there. We ended up winning that game. Papa Bunicor was happy with that.
Don't tell anyone, but his ankle's bothering him.
Yeah, right.
2nd and long for the Falcons. Cook remains at the fullback position. Perry sends Carter in motion. Hand off to Cook on the dive. Well defended by the Colonels. Tebbets the first one there, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Here's something that I would never expect, Case. We're sitting here, and it's a minute and 20 going down here. They've dominated this half. I mean, just on this quarter alone with the run game.
Yeah, they're down to a minute and 10. 3rd down coming. I see no reason why they won't run the clock out here for this quarter. They're going to wait until the official's hand goes up before they run a 3rd down play.
Now, it's not like the Falcons are changing their style. They're playing aggressive, but this is the control football style that we expect, them to be a playoff team to see. Managing the ball, playing effectively, and playing safe.
3rd and 12. Perry keeps it himself. Cuts it back inside to the middle of the Ledyard line where he's brought down, and it'll bring up 4th. Now, they have set up a possible field goal attempt by being in the center of the field, because it is going to be 4th and 10 with 22 seconds remaining. They want to wait till the period ends. They can then switch fields and kick this with the wind on 4th down.
Smart move. And Coach Ellis right now, I believe, is just strategized himself to get these points.
Do you want to be if you're Coach Siricchio, do you want to just go, all right, timeout? Do you want to really waste the timeout? Because as it is, even with the wind, it would be a 37-yard field goal. And we'll find out at the end of 3. No score there in the 3rd period. 20-0 Falcons. We're watching Game Day live. Day.com. After the game, follow Game Day CT on social media to see our pick for the Scient Federal Credit Union top play. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient Federal Credit Union. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit ScientFCU.org to learn more. And 4th quarter about to start here. The Falcons have it 4th and 10 from their 22-yard line of the Colonels. The clock ran out with them going into the wind. Now the clock will start with them going with the wind. So the question is, do they want to kick a 39-yard field goal with the wind, or do they want to run the ball or run a play on 4th and 10?
We'll see how this goes in the big cuatro quarter, brother. Throw a little Spanish for you throughout this last period here.
Some quick halftime scores for you guys. Waterford 27, East Lyme 20, New London 21, NFA 7. Killingly is winning. I got to find that score for you. Westerly 30, Stonington 14. And Killingly 22, Woodstock 8.
They're going to go for it, brother.
So they're going to go for it on 4th and 10.
Ooh, a stacked triple right there.
Perry sends in motion. It's a little reverse. Fine's going to throw it. Wide open is McCoy. Touchdown, Falcons. Fooled ya.
Whoa. That's a pecan play right there.
Adonis Fine can throw it, and Calvin McCoy can catch it. 26-0.
That was sweet. Sweet. Just a setup with a reverse pass, and, it freezed everybody. Actually, the Colonels just stood and looked real quick. They didn't expect it to be like that, and then wide open on the backside there. Beautiful throw. And there's your favorite muddle huddle as they attempted.
Oh, did they? I wasn't paying attention. Didn't know that was Carry in for the extra point. Saying, I could have kicked the field goal, Coach, but that was okay, too.
We'll take the extra 4.
High snap. Kick is through, and it is true. And just like that, the Falcons strike 27-0 with 11:52 remaining. Happy Thanksgiving. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Being part of a great community is so important. People helping and supporting others can be very uplifting and contagious. At Philomena's Restaurant, that's exactly what you get. It's the community hub for not just Waterford, but all of southeastern Connecticut. Birthday parties, anniversary dinners, weddings, sports banquets, a drink with friends, and of course, charity events. Philomena's has been, is, and will always be there for the community. Celebrate and support southeastern Connecticut at Philomena's. Philomena's, Utopia Plaza in Waterford.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. We're back here on a gorgeous Thanksgiving Day. A large crowd.
Really large crowd. Good job today.
Likely heading to the exit soon as the Falcons on 4th and 10 scored on a beautiful reverse pass from Adonis Fine to Calvin McCoy. They go up 27-0 with 11:52 remaining, and this is usually the time in the game in about another 5 minutes where you're going to start to see some of the youngsters maybe head in and get a little action on Thanksgiving. Here comes that kick, and it takes a bounce this time that allows Ledyard to handle it. Curse falls on it at the 37-yard line, and that is where Ledyard will have its possession.
Colonels right now just got to play with pride. Keep on playing hard. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. They have played, with a lot of pride and energy. They're not giving up, so keep it up there.
First down, Colonels from their 37. Adamick on the counter stutter, gain of 5. And that's a little more of what I thought we were going to see from the beginning. So it's taken them quite a while, but they're starting to get a little better handle. They're getting more yards. They just haven't been able to string anything together. This is where the Colonels right now, they're playing for a score. You do not want to be shut out.
Second down and 5.
Yeah, we don't serve goofs on Thanksgiving.
Or their eggs. Direct snap to Hayward. Hayward is going to be up, crossing the 50 with a push into Falcon territory.
That's the pride that I'm looking for right there. Just come and continue to fight and play with that kind of integrity that made your program successful this season.
So first down, Ledyard. They're going to put the ball right on midfield.
The greatest thing for a coach in regards to turf field, you don't have to wash the uniforms twice. I just feel sorry for Papa Bunico. He had a basket, and he had to wash with that big bottle of Lysol several times some of those pants when we, ran in the mud there.
Botts gets it on a little wing, little wing counter, gain of 4.
I know that Fitch and Bacon have the grass field, but there hasn't been any Mud Bowl games this year that I've seen,
Montville, 61-0 Bacon Academy, played in a monsoon
Really?
where that destroyed
This
the
year?
That destroyed the field for the rest of the year.
Wow.
Bacon couldn't play on it afterwards.
Oh, man. I bet you the Earthworms were happy.
I'll tell you the story after this play about the uniform. I'll show you a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Adamick going to run it off right tackle this time, and he's going to get 3. It's going to bring up a 3rd and short. So after that game was over, I instructed the junior voice of Game Day. I said, you are going to take off that entire uniform, and you're going to leave it.
Wow, that is muddy. Nephew looks good.
I go, you're going to leave that outside in the yard. And I hosed it down.
Yep.
And left it outside to dry into crumbles, and then shook it out, and then finally washed it.
That's how you got to wash it.
Right to the first down marker goes. Looks like he's going to be just shy for Hayward, or are they going to give him the first? This is where we talked about the spots.
And they get it set right there. It looks like we're going to give it that thing. Oh, we're going.
Move the chains.
Oh, no, he got the first down. He gave it to him.
That's a Peter Wappy special right there.
Peter's face was looking kind of. He high-fived him. I still remember the Michigan-South Carolina game where they try to call a first down where it was definitely not. Boy, Clowney set the tone after that.
Jamie, he was what a menace he was in college. Bad snap. Adamick falls on it, but it's going to be a loss of 5. We haven't seen that in a while. The Colonels have not had the same dysfunction that we've seen earlier in the year. That's an unusual mistake. Loss of 6. Clock ticking now with 8.5 minutes remaining. Adamick runs it right. Gets almost back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up 3rd and long.
And a tackle for Fitch. Dylan Beatty and Kevin Edwards.
In a situation like this where we're getting to 8 minutes, you know, as a coach, probably, Fitch side, what's the mindset of how you want to save your best players and get them ready for a playoff game? This will be a short week for them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they come back Tuesday.
So, you know, what are the things you have to do to adjust in this 4th quarter to get your top players, you know, out of there to avoid an injury?
Adamick, patient. He'll cross the 35-yard line. That's going to bring up a manageable 4th down, 4th, and we'll call it 4.5.
A great game so far with both teams. I mean, playing physical and going out there full speed. No injuries to report. The energy's still on the sidelines are really upbeat. I'm just happy I'm in this booth nice and warm.
You know, you make a good point about the short week. If you got a game on Tuesday, you got your walkthrough on Monday, which means you really only have Friday, Saturday, Sunday to install against a team you've never played before.
Well, that's what we were talking about last time we were together, was how Thanksgiving might be eliminated down the road because you want to have a week to prepare for a team that you're facing in the playoffs.
Calvin McCoy does more than just catch touchdowns. He makes the stop there, turnover on downs, it'll go over to Fitch.
Well, Casey, to your point, there is a chance that Fitch plays North Haven.
Woo! Which is the team that beat them 58-28 in week 3. And also the single team that they would like to avoid most in that first round, the defending state champions.
And it looks like, depending on how today shakes out, it's North Haven or Massac would be their first round. And yeah, neither are really appealing opponent.
That's a great challenge, though. I mean, to face your opponent that beat you that year, to come out and try to show that you're better than you was before, could be a great opportunity to keep the momentum going for the Falcons. So, you know, it was definitely a shootout that they faced earlier in the season. They weren't fully, you know, in gear, and we've seen them progress every time we've moved on. So, you know, I would take that as a great opportunity.
5 yards for Cook, tackled by Johnson. You know, install. If they played North Haven, it's a little easier because they've seen them. But to try to prepare for Massac in 3 days,
that's tough.
But at the same time, Massac would be trying to prepare for Fitch in 3 days.
Right.
So that's a lot because you usually give the day after as a heel day. So tomorrow could be film, but then you're talking about Saturday, Sunday. You got 2 days to prepare.
Right. There's the mindset right now for the Falcons, waiting for the judge to get his hand up.
Perry's going to have a first down and more. And wisely, Perry stays in bounds, and by doing so, he gets popped, and that's going to be a flag against Finn Scully. So what happened there is a reward for smart. Perry did not want to run out of bounds and stop the clock. So even though he could have tried to go down the sideline and get more yards, he chose to cut and hold so that he could stay in bounds. Because he was on the sideline and obviously giving himself up, Scully's hit is ruled an unnecessary roughness penalty because he hit him sort of out of bounds as Perry was giving himself up.
Yep, that's the evolution of the game right now. Defensive players have kind of lost that luster of getting the big hits, and because we know it's going to guarantee a penalty if you go full force with it.
Well, flag football is an Olympic sport now, so
here we go.
It's not going to be long before you guys like you and my son are no longer playing.
Yep.
Porter Carter on the counter will get about 5. It'll bring up second and 5. All right, so which will we see first in Connecticut as a sanctioned CIAC sport? Flag football or pickleball? Peter knew where I was going.
Pickleball.
Peter knew where I was going, yes. Flag football or pickleball?
It's got to be pickleball.
It will be a CIAC sanctioned sport.
Wow.
And you can play you can play twice as many pickleball matches as you can tennis matches, so.
Oh, Lord have mercy. This pecan is on another level in my mind right now.
Good thing I'm just not trying to sing Desperado. 2nd and 7. Handoff to Cook, and the freshman with a big hole.
I really love that kid. He, throughout this year, was probably the unknown, soldier in the most lethal position there, and he just grinds and smiles and gets back. Great smile that kid has, and just continues to do great things.
And that's the difference between Fitch of week 3 and Fitch of now.
Yes.
is Cook.
Is Cook. He knows what's cooking.
And what's crazy about that score is not, Fitch put up 28 points against a very good North Haven defense.
Yep.
But North Haven, who runs the single wing, scored 58 points against Fitch. So this Ledyard team, who has not scored a point, runs the same offense. So how much does playing today help Fitch against North Haven, who's running the same offense the single wing?
It's a destiny thing right here. This could prepare them to motivate their attitudes, but at the same time, Ledyard is not North Haven, so they have to be a lot more prepared.
No, Ledyard. North Haven's
Yeah,
good 40 miles away.
48 miles from it. Siri, where is it at? 48 miles from what I'm hearing, yeah.
Strekvis made the tackle on Perry. It's going to bring up a 2nd and long as the clock ticks now to about 4 minutes, and the Falcons just very, very content being methodical and taking as much clock as possible.
Knowing right now that Ledyard is going to probably be out of the playoffs here, the toughest thing is the camaraderie that you've built throughout the whole year comes to an end. But that lasts a lifetime. That's what's great about football. It etches in stone, and when you get older, you get to talk about these games like this.
Handoff again to Cook, off right tackle, a huge hole, and Cook will be close to the first down. Falcons keep rolling.
He is pouring the gravy on the turkey leg.
3rd and 4. He got 10. Ball marked at the 12-yard line. 3rd and 4.
I tell you, that pecan pie, I don't think I need to eat anything else for the rest of the day, and I'm going to have coffee straight black, no sugar. I'll tell you.
I saw her make it, so I know what's in it.
Oh, God bless her. Thank you. Tell us. Thank you so much. I think I could do the cha-cha slap for 7 hours.
Perry going to keep it himself, rolling out right, looking for the block from Cook. Gets it, and he'll be inside the 5-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal, Falcons. Tebbets on the tackle for the Colonels, but not until Perry has the Falcons in business inside the 5.
A great job managing the clock this game. They did a wonderful job calling these plays. And we're very patient when it came to the line and just waiting for that back judge to raise that hand. They're not, in an aggressive mode, but they're playing aggressive. And that's something that you like to see in a playoff team.
Peter, where is Massac and North Haven? Are they in the 5-6 range?
So currently Massac is 4, Fitch is 5, and North Haven is 6.
Woo! So they could be on the road technically still, even with a win. Inside the 5, still not into the goal, into the touchdowns. 27-0 here, 2 minutes left. So the Falcons want to punch one more in.
Yeah, depending on the points, it looks like they could be at Massac.
Big difference hosting a team on grass at your place versus heading down all the way to Monroe for a game. Fullback dive. Edwards down to the goal line. It's going to bring up 3rd and goal from the 1.5. Trying to get the senior Devin Edwards into the end zone. So they put Edwards in at the fullback position. Trying to get the senior a touchdown. Perry gives again to Edwards. Edwards dives, waiting for the signal, and they have him just short again. It's going to bring up 4th and a half a yard. They're trying to get, we know Devin Edwards as a linebacker.
Yeah.
They're trying to get him into the end zone here, and the Colonels are not budging.
No, that's a lot of pride the Colonels are doing right now. You know, not to give up, and that shows a lot of class.
Clock under a minute remaining. Of course, at the end of this game, you're going to want to join us on our Game Day CT, all of our social medias for the interview with Coach Mike Ellis and the Game Day player of the game. One more time. Edwards, can he get in?
We're waiting for the call.
Touchdown! He got in, and look at the happy reaction for all the Falcons. They got him into the end zone. Senior Devin Edwards with the touchdown. Caps off another great offensive drive for the Falcons. 33-0. So again, at the end of the game, after we sign off, you're going to want to go to Game Day CT for all of our social medias, and you're going to find our interview with head coach Mike Ellis and with our player of the game. As the Falcons are up 33-0, they'll send Kerry in for the extra point. And 37 seconds on the clock.
God bless you, brother. Good job. Tell you that, great defensive job out there.
Snap is high, kick is up, it is through and just wide left. So with 37 seconds remaining, we're going to keep it here. I just want to, as Ledyard wraps up its season, they're going to go to 4-6. It is a Thanksgiving tradition for me as well to congratulate all the seniors on the roster. So all of the seniors that I have listed on the Ledyard roster: Jackson Barbosa,
Right.
Donovan Green, Jacob Turner, Christian Wiltshire, Felix Beltre, Naziah Carr, Matt Tebbets,
Big Tebbets.
Connor Blaze, Ben Rushchick, and Gabriel Cummings. For all of you seniors on the Ledyard Colonels playing in your last high school football game, just want you to know that everybody that's had the pleasure of watching you and enjoying your time appreciates all the hard work you've put in, and congratulations to the parents of those seniors as well. The Falcons 33-0 with 37 seconds left will kick it off, but the Falcons are not done. They're going to have another game to play Tuesday.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
The only things that remain are where and who. They could be home. They could be on the road. They could be playing North Haven. They could be playing Massac. They could be playing somebody else who sneaks in. All is on the table as we try to dissect playoff math. You need an abacus and a lot of patience.
I can't use a calculator for that. That's too much for me. But the pecans, I could count the pecans. I had about 30 of them.
Colonels will drop on it. So, Peter, looking at the double M standings, Fitch is currently sitting at the 5 spot.
They're currently 5th, yeah.
Who's their most likely person in front? Who's the most likely to lose in front of them? And can they jump to 4?
So Massac's done.
Massac's done. They're locked in.
Massac is 8-2, but with a much better strength of schedule.
Right.
And Massac is the 5?
It's 4.
It's
Massac's 4. So they can't. Well, what do they get with this win?
That I don't know the answer to.
Because the Falcons are going to get the points for this win plus the bonus points for.
So the margin right now is 170.
Woof. That's a lot.
So they're going to get 140 for this win.
Right.
And that means they need 30 bonus points from teams that Ledyard has beat. Or the teams that Fitch has beat, rather, winning today. So that's going to be, well, they're going to get points for New London.
Yep.
They're going to get points for Killingly.
Yes.
I think the Falcons are going to catch Massac and flip that to a 4-5.
You really think so?
I do.
Hey, you know what? You've been on fire all year long, you know.
I do. Well, here's the deal. The clock has 1 second remaining. They're winding it, and the game is over. 33-0. The Falcons have retained the sword. They have not lost the sword in the last, this group of seniors. They've had it all 4 years. 33-0 today. Again, stay tuned on Game Day CT to our social medias. You will see our interview with Coach Mike Ellis as well as our player of the game. Tuesday night, we'll be somewhere hosting a quarterfinal playoff game. Congratulations to the Fitch Falcons who are in, the Wyndham Whippets who are in, the Griswold Wolverines who are in,
Amen.
the Killingly High School football team which appears on its way, and of course Stonington still playing against Westerly but trailing All of it will shake out, and we'll have the action for you on Tuesday. For the coach, Pasta Santabria, Peter Wappy, and our crew, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy.